welcome to the Collector RC. Alright, so you can see here we got the Ryft. First of all, I'm going to apologize ahead of time because you're going to hear cars like now driving by. I am outside. We do live next to a kind of busy street. But anyway, so what we're doing now, as you can see, it's all opened up here. What we've had to do, the RX, or the transmitter receiver system, that's out. That like everybody else that's having problems with it, it eventually got to us as well. So I got rid of that, and right now we're just using a TQ, the Traxxas stock transmitter receiver. So nothing fancy. But one of the issues we have, as you can see here, this I got kind of a chip. I don't know if I can get to it, but here, let's go to this side. All right, so as you can see, we have this installed through our servo connection because with the TQ, the steering was reversed and there's no way to reverse the steering on the actual controller. So instead we use this redirectional chip system here that actually will just reverse the steering for us. So it is kind of a pain because I have to try to fit it inside there. But the other thing we're going to do is we're going to install some lights, and it'll be kind of fancy, and I'll show that later. But here's some things I want to go over since we have this open. We already know that there's a lot of problems that come with this Ryft. It was kind of a bummer right out the get-go. You can see this is an Axel replacement. We've had to do a servo horn replacement, which this is just temporary. This will not. You can see it's actually kind of it's working, but it's not going to last. So this is going to have to be changed out. And that's supposed to be a really good servo horn. I don't recommend it because it comes with plastic mounts in the inside. You can see there. Oh, maybe let's make it zoom in a little bit. See inside, that's a plastic mount that goes onto the metal, and those plastic pieces, because of the way the Ryft handles, it just strips it immediately. So we're actually having to use a smaller one than we jammed it on there. But so we've had the axle here in the front break. This is a replacement, and ahead of time we don't know if it's the version 2 or not. So there was no way to indicate that. But ahead of time we ended up doing a JB plastic weld on the front, and so far it's handled. I mean, this thing's wiped out way worse than it ever has before, and I have not had a problem with my axle yet. The rear, though, back here, the rear is still stock. It terrifies me because I know ultimately it's probably going to snap at some point. I don't have a replacement on hand, but that's right now, that's kind of where we're at. So, but we've had some other issues. You can see with any of the links, mostly the lower links, we've snapped some of the plastics, and so we've gone with the Traxxas heavy duty ones, and those so far have been doing pretty well. These are still stock. It's mostly just the lower links in the front. But I want to show you what's happening and why those are breaking. And it's just a unfortunate thing. But you can see here, let's zoom in a little bit. So you see there, besides the dirtiness and the dandelion seed there, see it's all shoved against one side, and see how it's all crimped. I mean, it's not supposed to look like that. That's what it's supposed to look like, and right now that's what it's looking like. So that one needs to be replaced. It's going to snap, and that's basically what's happening. Is that these are being, see how it won't even sit on the ball anymore. They're just getting slammed around so much because just too much of the car's got too many loose components that aren't snug. You can see it's happening up here in the front as well with this wire. See how it's slammed to one side, so I have to pop that back, and it kind of makes you'll notice it because as you're driving, your car will be pulling to one side a lot more, and every time you go to try to fix your steering, you're encountering it. And if it pops back on the other side, and then you're and now you're losing, you know what I mean? Your steer, you over corrected it, even though you didn't. So, but it seems to be, it's becoming common. I'm ultimately going to end up having to replace every one of them because each one on their own are just going out. It's something that Cuz brought up, and I haven't had a problem with it yet, but it's ultimately going to be a problem because, as you know, especially with you more seasoned RCers, you don't really want these need to rotate on the ball only. You don't want them moving around in there because they get slammed. So something that Cuz brought up when we did do the replacements for some of these rear or the front ones. So let me show you here. Again, I'll have to zoom in, sorry. All right, so this is a replacement. This is the Traxxas heavy duty one. See how that it's got too much. They are better. They've been handling up better. They sit on the ball better, but this is the unfortunate side effect because the ball joints there are actually too small. So we're going to ultimately have to create some space filler in there, probably use some bushings or something just to kind of fill that space up so that doesn't move around. Hasn't been a problem yet, but ultimately, I mean, this is what you don't want that. So you can cause, it doesn't make, your performance of your car is just not going to be as good. So we're back here with the Ryft. You know, we did the work. See a light bar that's right back here. We took it out for a test run to make sure everything's working. We have the reverse servo connection in there, the link, make sure everything was working right with the TRX controller. Stock, not the best control in the world for this, but it works. Something temporary until I get a better one. Probably gonna go with the GTF or the GT5. Not really sure yet though. But anyway, so we took it out. It was a simple field run. The grass was a little bit longer than we intended. We were hoping it was a fresh cut, but it was still probably a little bit tall. But anyway, Servo Horn, a hot racing one. We already talked about how that's pretty much garbage because it comes with the plastic mounting pieces. We put in a smaller one. Normally, I believe this is a 23 to start. I think we end up getting like a, I can't remember, it was 25. And it's something in there to jam it in there. It worked really good. Did multiple runs on it, jumps, everything. Well, that's gone. So the Servo Horn is gone. You can see there's nothing left of it. It's completely stripped. But also, so that was pretty much the end of that run. But then immediately when we went to go pick it up, I'm going to show you here. I haven't opened it yet, but look at that. Look how freely that spins. Can you see that? Yeah. So the Axel housing stayed great. Unfortunately, the axle inside, we're pretty sure, has stripped, snapped, whatever. It's broken. Couldn't handle the run yesterday. So problem child has struck again, and is out of commission again until I can get the axle fixed. And also, I think we're just gonna go straight Servo Horn. I'm not doing the Servo Saver anymore. Pretty much just that I'm just gonna yellow it every time I take it out. It's just yeah, but I'm because of this and even more, I'm really leaning towards the whole crawling idea. So, but we'll see. But that's its condition now, so I'm not really gonna be able to run it yet like I wanted to. But again and again, keep having the same problems. I'm sure I know I'm not alone on this. So I just really don't want to spend $1,000 to go all full metal and everything like everybody else. Even though if it gets to the point where that's kind of the ultimate, if I'm going to end up spending that much anyway, constantly having to fix all this stuff just to keep it the way it is, then ultimately that'd be the right decision. But I think to avoid all that, I'm just going to go crawler. I can get the lockers in now, because you can actually find them again. So we'll get the lockers in there. Yeah, we'll probably go crawling. So that may be the future to my Ryft, unfortunately. So just want to let you guys know. Thanks for watching. We hit 1,500 subscribers. That's awesome. So we have a contest coming up. It's not, not one of our big contests, but it's definitely worth participating. We always give out some stuff. So look forward to that. We'll give details coming up probably in the next video. But right now, just kind of just a recap of what I was doing with the Ryft, our little test run. It failed. Not surprising. So, all right, thanks for watching, and thanks for subscribing, and yeah.